Good morning, folks. Welcome to Howdy YouTube. How's everyone doing this morning? Yeah. Who's tired from last night? Yeah. Who was able to get some sleep last night? Yeah. Anybody who's like, I haven't slept since Saturday? Yeah. What were you doing? What were you up to last night?
Listening to Lupoof until like 3 in the morning.
Lupoof? That's a musician, right?
Him and Never Last Standing were the last acts last night.
How was the concert? Was it good?
It was insane.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. Well, this is, again, Howdy YouTube with myself and ACRacebest and with Paleo. I'm still kind of waking up myself, if you couldn't tell. But the entire point of this panel is to share our experiences with the platform of YouTube and, of course, with other social media platforms like Twitter and the TikTok. And y'all can just ask us anything about, I guess, questions on your mind of like how to grow a platform, how to achieve a certain audience, how to hit certain metrics and whatnot. Race?
Yep.
You do YouTube.
I do YouTube. I myself have a channel that it's not so much, while like Saber up here with a whole team of people, a lot of the stuff that I do is myself, but at the same time, it's also a hobby, more of a hobby channel for me. So there's a lot less stress involved, I'm sure, a lot less expectation too. But there's different ways to approach going after YouTube. Like, is it something that you're looking to make a living off of versus something that you're like, I want to share a passion of mine and maybe not so like for me, I have a full-time job that I also do on top of the video making, which means it takes a lot of time away from the video making, but it also alleviates some of the stress of that video making. So we'll have different perspectives, and then Paleo up here, you got your stuff going on.
Yeah, I have like my YouTube channel where I do like movie reviews and stuff and podcasts. Because I had the podcast channel and the my normal channel that's just like reviews and everything. And then I also do like I've done some editing for Saber, and I might be doing some editing for some other people very soon. I'm not gonna say who it is, but
Wow.
Yeah.
Making us wait.
Yep, and I do YouTube professionally, where I have a team and do animation reviews. Who gave me the hammer? Someone came in here and gave me the hammer, and I'm like, thank you. I needed this for stimming. But yeah, I do animation reviews, and I got a team of people. I mean, Paleo's worked with me before, and I collab with Reyes on projects sometime, like Bernie's React, every so often when I can manage it, or when I actually turn my footage in.
One of these days, I'll get it.
Anybody in the audience? Hold on. Here's your tea.
Oh, give me that tea back.
Anybody here in the audience have a online platform? Do they have a? Okay. I'm curious to hear what you all have to say. Red card. What do you do?
Like Grace, I do convention blogs, and I actually started out doing PMVs. After I went to BronyCon 2013, which was the first convention that I ever went to, I saw Race's blogs, and I thought, I don't want to do this. The first convention blog that I did was actually KatsuCon 2014 in National Harbor, Maryland, just outside of Washington, D.C. It was on special type budget. I was using my old iPod Touch with the camera on it, 32 gigabytes, kept running out of space. It was a very, very low budget. Then I decided to get a camcorder. The battery life on the battery that came with it was so short, so I said, I need to get a larger battery. And I just kept, investing more and more, into it to get better equipment, better software.
Better ingredients.
Better pizza, yeah.
It's just I pride myself on how can I make the next thing I'm going to do better than the last one.
That's a spirit.
Yeah.
What do you think about where you stand today with your content? Do you feel like, I've definitely improved, I've upped the game?
Well,
Or are you gonna go back to the iPod?
Well,
Honestly, to be honest, I've struggled with like, like audience reach, but that really doesn't matter to me. I just want to show off, like my creativity, my coverage and everything. I mean, to be honest, audience reach doesn't really matter to me. If I get like, maybe 1,000 views on like a regular conflict coverage video, great.
Well, I see at the conventions a lot hustling and filming, so good on you for, keeping at it.
Red Card's like, when did this turn into a me being roasted panel? What's going on here? But no, it's cool because, again, by raise of hands, just who has, like, again, a YouTube platform or, we have a lot of content creators in here and everyone's got their own journey going on. And, there's some people in here that are just getting started. Like, I'm sure you in the red shirt, you look like someone who's just getting started.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know you were here. How are you? How goes I've been following your saga with the Reddit. What was the Yeah.
Yeah, that's related to YouTube. That's gonna be a big deal.
You're like the tip of the spear when it comes to the Bernie fandom and trying to No, seriously, you do a lot of good work. Passionate. No, you do good work. You do very good work. And it was fun watching that entire Reddit stuff go down. Our place, right?
Yeah.
Our place. That's right. That's cool. All right. I want to go about this then.
We have a Q&A mic right here.
It's very close to the.
Oh yes, it is.
Yeah.
So feel free to come on up, ask us questions. Like we said,
Or
we
you
do
just raise
have
their
a.
hand, I suppose.
What's that?
Could they raise their hand if they wanted to?
Probably.
Yeah.
You can choose. Do you dare approach us? This.
What do you, me?
Yeah.
What's the 3? If it was 4, it'd be you.
But yeah, again, any questions regarding really anything related to content creation, or building an audience, or just YouTube in general? How do I play a video? What button do I press? Anything. Yeah.
You mentioned before that you use OBS a lot, and what other video editing programs that you can recommend? Just first time people out there, because obviously not everybody's gonna be oh, I'm gonna use Final Cut Pro, whatever version they have out now, because not everybody has that extreme skill set. But I have been going to school for video photography for X amount of years. What do you recommend for those who are just specifically wanting to start off for video editing for simplicity's sake?
So for OBS, that's more for live streaming stuff. But there are a lot of simpler editing programs that I was trying to think of a free one that I've seen recently. Yeah, anything to where you can just cut footage.
Like Movie Maker, and then iMovie is another one. If you're just getting started, those are really good simple programs to just give you the flow of chopping stuff up. Because I know I know I use Vegas for editing.
Yeah, same.
But that was after using Movie Maker for a couple of years.
What version of Vegas are you on, Race?
What's that?
Do you update Vegas often, or what version of Vegas do you use?
2.0. I think I'm on Vegas 17.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what I'm on too. Because if you've heard of a Humble Bundle, they sometimes do a bundle of programs, and they'll have it marked down as oh yeah, you get all these programs for $20. Because usually
a deal.
Yeah, because usually Vegas sells for over 100 or 150. So.
Or you can just pirate it.
Yeah.
I'll just say it.
I was gonna say it, but yeah.
I'll say it.
Sea of Thieves. I was so my wife and I we have our Ready Player Dumb channel, and we've been playing a lot of Sea of Thieves, and I'm like, what if it wasn't treasure but computer programs that you're going to find?
It's look at all these movies that just came out. Oh, it's a webcam footage one.
John Delancey's no.
Right. His boat singing. All right. Other questions? Yes.
In regards to, that kind of took a bit of an unofficial 2-year hiatus and completely separated from a lot of stuff. So in regards to making and posting stuff, as a way to get enough outreach, really, to get yourself out there in a way that people can see it and be in a few different spheres, where would you recommend posting? I'm kind of stuck myself on Twitter and what's, broken husk of Tumblr or a lot of that. But where would you recommend posting?
What kind of content do you make?
I do a lot of digital work, but not, and I'm also stepping into animatic and work, currently laying down pre-production on foldable animation. So I'm kind of trying to step up the game a little bit.
Someone's having a really bad
Yeah, it's not happening.
Someone's watching all my videos. Dad? It's hard. I'm not an actual artist, or even an artist, but the best advice I can give is like, there's no shame in looking for a trend to springboard. Because I see a lot of artists who are like, here's my original piece, and it gets like 7 likes. Here's something that's pandering to a fandom that's established. Okay, it gets 1,000 likes. Nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with playing towards a fandom or something that's popular or trendy, just to get noticed. And then after a while, once you build up that momentum in the audience, it's like, okay, I can start to experiment and do more of my own original stuff. So I feel like when artists are like, oh, I feel like no one likes my original stuff, it's like, because they don't know you yet. And what can you click with? Okay, find a common denominator. Here's some Star Wars art, or here's like some anime or whatever. Folks are like, I watched that, I like it. I also like your style, and they might stick around. And you just build off of that.
Yeah, like you've said a lot before about how like the Brony fandom was like a big springboard for a lot of us.
Huge.
Yeah.
It was like boot camp.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is a editing program?
What is drama?
What is drama? What are frogs? But yeah, springboards are important. Springboards are important online as far as like, getting an audience moving. Just find some momentum and run with it. As far as platform goes, not TikTok, Twitter. Yeah, it can be kind of a hit or a miss. I think Tumblr was apparently Tumblr actually is pretty cool right now, but but its growth is dead. Yeah. So that's the thing. So like for art, I imagine Twitter or DeviantArt. And then as far as where's like massive growth right now, TikTok. But like, how do you? You have to like. How do people present art on TikTok? I don't even really participate in TikTok myself, because like apparently also YouTube Shorts are really popular, or so YouTube tells us. So who can say? No.
It's weird because like YouTube doesn't make any money off of it, so it's like, why are they promoting it?
Because they want to compete for growth.
Yeah.
They want growth to companies like that is like really lucrative. They want it, even if they're like lucrative how, and they're like, shh, don't ask questions. I hope that answers your question. Okay, questions? Yes.
In what ways, as an animator, do I have any hope of starting a YouTube channel?
You don't. What kind of animation do you want to do?
I like to do limited animation, which I can do myself on YouTube. Here's the thing: is I really like to put animations to music, but then there's no way I'll ever be able to monetize it because it's always going to be copyrighted.
Yeah.
Unless there's no way to license my own music, but I don't actually know how to go about doing that.
At that point, like
Yeah, that's it. That's
you would
expensive.
probably use like TikTok or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TikTok's again, it's where all the growth is. And I see a lot of people post like animatics and like, I guess storyboards up there or whatever. Just, it clicks. Only thing is like, monetizing it on TikTok is tough. Because like Tom told me that like TikTok. Okay, so Vine ran into the problem of like, are you all familiar with Vine? Okay. Yeah, right. Remember Vine back in 2014? So Vine was basically like the precursor to TikTok, and it was really popular and some really. You got like online stars to this day who still exist got their start on Vine. Wasn't who's that one guy who was the Momocon who does the voices?
ProZD.
Did he started on Vine,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
I believe so.
Vine's like cool 6-second videos. It's really popular, and they're like, oh, how do we monetize this 6-second videos? And then they died. TikTok, on the other hand, is like, okay, how do we monetize it? Like, well, we're taking your data, so we'll start with that. And then also they have a big old like TikTok fund where they just dump money into funding certain creators. And I've heard that like TikTok is very vicious. I'm sorry, this is not some like TikTok dissertation, but like I mean it's like the platform right now as far as growth goes. Like YouTube's trying to keep up. And it's weird because like TikTok's trying to become more like YouTube, where they're making their videos longer, while YouTube's like we want to make it shorter with their YouTube Short program. And
But it's weird because like there's still like very long videos that still get a lot of views on YouTube.
right, I mean
Like with what like Ellis Marcus put out and
Right.
like, Billiam put out his like 6 hour and 20-minute video on Lost.
Quentin Tarantino, Quentin reviews. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Quentin Tarantino reviews. But no, it's. I mean, YouTube is definitely a bit more comfortable than TikTok, knowing that their stuff is like monetized and self-sufficient, while TikTok's constantly taking money and dumping it into the trying to keep TikTok creators on their platform. Apparently, on TikTok, there's a trial period where they will say, okay, here, let's see if you can keep up and keep making content. And then they'll deliberately throttle your channel to make it hurt and like lower your viewership. And they're like, okay, let's see if you will keep pushing through this and keep uploading videos and keep making content. And if you don't, they'll put you on a list saying they weren't strong enough. You're out of here.
Wow,
And
just like YouTube.
what's that?
It's like just like YouTube.
No, it's a lot more vicious.
Yeah, that's
Because the way their
yeah.
fund works is they're like, are you worthy enough for it? And if not,
Yeah.
they'll like just put you out the pasture. And a lot of these TikTok creators, because it's so competitive, they'll start over if it doesn't work. Like
Wow.
they're like, our channel's dead, it didn't work. Okay, start over.
Yeah, because like on YouTube, like you can go away for a while and like still like come back.
YouTube's a lot more
Yeah.
forgiving. I think YouTube's also a bit more cultivated for animation versus TikTok. TikTok to me just seems very superficial. I don't know. I'm just like a boomer. But to answer your question though, is animation cool? Yes, it is. No, I think so.
Yeah.
The music thing.
I think so.
I think it's challenging. You might need to find like some public domain songs, which sucks because it's like, oh, those are boring. But I feel like also the same way I answered your question, like there's no shame in like if you want to do a Steven Universe animatic with some music, folks are like, oh, I like that. I know Steven Universe, and then you kind of just run with that momentum. I guess building momentum, that's the name of the game. Can you get that initial push? Okay, cool. Keep running with it, because once the algorithm blesses you, holy poop, don't let it go. Don't let it go. Did I answer your question more or less? Do you all want to say any on that at all?
I'm just curious, do we have any other animators in the crowd?
I'm still waking up, by the way. I apologize.
Good morning. Do we just, I guess, kind of like a shout out, do you guys have any other platforms that you see are good for animation right now, like kind of releasing?
More like a comment. I think something that can be really beneficial as an animator that still can be short in the sense that it keeps people's attention span is joining multi-animator projects.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You did the one with Joshua. Yeah. Yep, that's good advice. Networking is important, and rubbing shoulders and everything. So, and also I find a lot of animators who like join these projects are very. I mean, I think most artists in general have like very low self-esteem. And they're like, oh, I'm no good. I'm like, what the heck? This is like the Mona Lisa. You're great, But but like rubbing shoulders, getting out there, networking, because you never know what doors it might open. Where it's like, okay, like someone really liked my art, or I'm with a really cool group running with them, and we're doing another project and another one, and I'm actually building a name for myself and everything. So, momentum. No, you're good.
I know for me personally, I found a lot of really awesome animators just by watching multi-animator projects. I know there's like certain animators that I really like. Animation. Obviously, everyone's great, but there's some that will catch my eye, and I'll end up following them, and I'll see what they're following. So multi-animator projects are really good for putting yourself out there and getting an opportunity to show your work, even if it's in like a short time frame.
There was an animator for the Joshua Reanimated project. I mean, there's some really good animators, but there's one who like had this scene with Joshua. Oh, are you all familiar with my Joshua and the Promised Land reanimation project? Okay, so for those who don't know, Joshua and the Promised Land was a really bad animated movie that I ripped on like years ago and became a meme for my channel. And I'm like, well, let's reanimate the movie. That'd be fun. And there was a guy who signed up for the project who turned his scene in within like a few weeks. And it was like a DreamWorks level of animation where it had like Joshua running past. Like it was like, because Joshua in the Promised Land is like Moses and Joshua and Caleb and stuff like that from the Bible. And it was like the parting of the Red Sea. And had a little anthro lion who was so well animated walking past the water. And I'm like, what the hell are you doing on this project? This is good. Like, this is like industry levels of professional. He's like, yeah, thanks for having me. Bye. And I'm like, what? Who are you?
Yeah, wasn't there somebody like from like the Tangled series that worked on?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. The people who are like, I'm actually working for like Disney. And I'm like, thank you. Like, do I have to pay you? I can treat you like Mickey now. All right. Did more or less answer your question? Oh, no. Wait, rephrase the question. I want to make sure I didn't answer it, though.
Well, I mean, it's a pretty hopeless question as an animator, what hope do I have to start a channel?
I mean, it's hope. Yeah, I guess there's a certain element of like what can you personally bring to the table, but also like just finding momentum.
To find something funny. Like I've noticed that like if animators make something like very funny, like people will watch it over and over again. Like one animator that started a couple of years ago and he like blew up was Dubus Goopus. Yeah, it's like his videos are hilarious. Just like very short videos, but like he got a big following like very quickly because he was funny.
Oh, yeah, she's right. You just lose me.
Dang.
Nah, and also like lest we forget that YouTube is very hostile to animators too, where it's like cool 2-minute video that you spend a year working on, 7 people watched it, and it's like like someone with a vlog just flip on a camera can get like 1,000 views, like Race.
Yeah.
And because to YouTube's a view is a view, you know. I know that there's certain like CTR and stuff like that and whatnot, but still. Yep, tried that.
That's all you got to do. Is just be funny.
Just be funny.
Our advice to everything. It's like, how do I grow an audience? Just be funny.
Yes.
So.
Just be funny.
So something for me that I'm really watching is as far as viewer engagement is, I forgot the term for it, but I'll tell you on analytics, how long they watch your video.
Retention.
Retention,
Yeah.
that's what it is. And so what I was going to ask you guys about is interest, because I feel like I do live action skit comedy, which I feel like is kind of rare in the growing fandom, but it's starting to get a little bit more common. I want to think I'm a trendsetter, but I don't think that's the case. So something I was going to ask is, my intros, the way I script my videos, are typically a bit longer and drawn out. So like, do you have any advice for like when you're starting the videos and stuff, how to kind of keep your attention a bit higher? Because I've noticed for my videos, it's kind of wildly inconsistent.
It's tough because it depends on your routine, the comedy. Is it a slow burn, dry sense of humor?
It's like rapid fire cuts. Like I'm always trying to be saying something and doing something.
All I know is that you have to have a hook in like the first 60 seconds, and if you're
Yeah.
not getting their attention the first 60 seconds, then it's game over. Or at least it's going to drop off. Like those first 60 seconds of a video, like say your piece. What are you doing? What's the joke? What's the thesis? Just something. Got to get their attention. Got to make them grab their interest. Because if not, they're going to go, there's literally 10 billion other videos I could watch instead. So.
Yeah, sometimes it's just making it weird enough at the beginning for someone to be like, huh? Like, what is this? Now, did you say you have an intro that you put at the beginning of your videos, or are you just in general asking about the beginning of the videos?
I mean, like I have like a 2-second thing that I do like as an intro, but just like in order to introduce the video, I'll just do completely random stuff. And I used to think it had to do with, as far as you mentioned, like how long the actual intro bit was before I got into the actual like meat in the videos. But like I've done long intros that had great retention and long intros that had retention. So I just wanted to do like maybe a trick or something.
What would you, for the videos where you had good retention, could you identify anything in it where you're like, I did that right? Or ask your audience what they liked about it?
I don't know, I feel kind of weird specifically asking my audience, like, hey guys, this video that 1,000 and like 1,500 of you watched, what did you like about it?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. You can be like, hey, what'd y'all like? Ask them in the comments.
Yep.
Yeah, there's because when you look at the like analytics for retention time, you usually start with the intro where it's like the intro's right here, and then it goes down.
Always goes
like
down,
yeah.
actually.
But then sometimes you'll see like a video where it's like it goes up a little bit, and you'll see like, oh, what happened there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What causes a spike? Sometimes a video will get shared around for a specific timestamp, and you'll just see a video that has nothing, and then whoa, and then it's like, okay, what was that?
I think that's usually me doing like a slapstick bit where I hurt myself.
Well,
hurt yourself
Keep
more.
hurting yourself.
Just make that the full video. Take a hammer and bonk yourself in the head.
Yeah, retention is also something like you want to also pay attention to. Some videos will get like poor retention if they're like say it's a video that is playing at the beginning of like when someone clicks onto your channel, and some people have that set to autoplay. And sometimes someone's going on to a YouTube channel and they're like, no, whatever this is, stop. So the video plays for 2 to 3 seconds, it stops, so the retention's like, well, everyone just stopped watching, but really you're getting this kind of an off read on the percentage of people that are, quote, watching the video.
I didn't think about that. Interesting.
So that's another one to,
Like, you can set that to not autoplay.
Yeah, on your channel.
I learned something.
Yeah.
well, there you go, success. Remember, just be funny.
Did I answer your question? Let's get some more questions. Yes.
Quite a few of my more popular videos are now being sent to kids, like
Oh, no.
kids. And, should I stick with YouTube or look for other things?
What kind of content do you make?
PMVs, but also like I'm starting to like quantify entire movies, Prince of Egypt. Yeah. So they're long. I can't like do TikTok because it's different.
Did you try setting it to adult mode?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, because there is a setting for like just videos and also the setting for like the entire channel. Yeah.
Well, I know that like Cast de Vol, I think that's their name. They do little like animated recaps of movies. Yeah, Cass runs into the same issue. I mean, you got a channel with like almost like 5 million subscribers, who still gets their content like set to kids. Because YouTube's weird. It's like, you can set your videos to adults so kids don't watch it, unless there's such an influx of kids still watching it that our algorithm will then defy your manual choice and say you're wrong. Despite like Cass will put like, I remember there's one, I say one. He's probably done it a few times, but there was like a particular episode where he had like a character's head blowing up into a bloody like pulp. To be like, is this for kids? No, and it still got set to kids. So it's like YouTube is just stupid. Either the algorithm or some bots do it, or they just deliberately are like, there's so much money we're making from kids watching this that we'll just ignore our own rules.
It's hard to get like in contact with like anyone that's an actual person at YouTube.
It's so hard.
Because like I know like I watched Spawn Wave and he got like flagged for spam because he had a link to Xbox in his sources on his video, and people are like, YouTube's like, this is spam. We're giving you a strike.
A strike?
Yeah, they give him a strike.
What?
Yeah. And then like
Spam?
yeah, well it was just a link to
the
Xbox.
Hawaiians in shambles.
Wow.
So,
Yeah, but he was able to get it fixed though. But like I feel bad for like anybody who doesn't have a big YouTube following because
You almost
yeah.
need a large following on Twitter to make a fuss to get YouTube's attention, and so often some other folks don't have that, so it's just like, well, I'm screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other unfortunate bit here, and anyone that's been around YouTube long enough has probably dealt with this at least once. YouTube acts like there is a team of people that are ready to help you out. Has anyone done the live chat? And you're like, I'm not talking to a real person. They're like,
How
oh,
are
sorry,
you?"
buddy. And you're like, thanks.
Do you like hot fudge sundaes?
It's all AI generated, and it's like, okay, neat program, but this isn't helping at all.
No.
It's very frustrating. I feel like this has been well, not even recent at this point. It's been going on a while.
Like
Yeah.
a decade.
It's been this for years.
Forever. But yeah,
getting
it's weird to me that YouTube seems to have made no attempts at fixing both. Like this stuff where it's like, oh, yep, sorry, that's the auto setting. This bot is going around. I think that YouTube is entirely taken over by robots at this point, and it's the beginning. It's the beginning of like iRobot with Will Smith. Like this is how it starts, guys. It's YouTube and then everything else. So good luck to us all.
Can you paint?
Not even anymore. I doubt it.
Can you?
Can you?
Can't like AI like algorithms making art pieces and stuff? Dolly too. All right. Next question. I'm gonna hold on for you just because you guys are other folks. Yes. Red shirt. Yes.
2 things. 1, Tom Oliver says hi.
Ew.
2, at what point is it okay to make a side channel?
A side channel?
Okay, so for me, now again, this is answering more from kind of a hobby perspective of channels. I've had the ACRacebest channel for obviously a long time, and for that one, I've used it to upload mostly anything and everything that I've wanted to. However, when Sarah and I decided that we wanted to make a gaming channel, we were like, well, of course we're going to make a separate channel for that because of the content upload, the amount, the schedule. It would have obliterated everything else on the ACRacebest channel. And it's not what a lot of people signed up for on the ACRacebest channel. So it was like, okay, here's the time. Like the content itself is going to differ enough that it makes no sense to bombard everybody with like, hey, I just completely revamped the channel, which I could have done, right? Like, and I'm putting big quotation on this because I obviously still make ACRacebest content, but it's the gaming channel itself. If it was like, oh, I'm not really doing any of the stuff on ACRacebest anymore, now I want to do a gaming channel, because people have done this in the past where they're like, I want to go a completely new direction with stuff, and sometimes it works. Other times it's people going, what happens? Like, what's this channel? I don't even know what I'm signed up for anymore. So for me, I feel like if you're going to be doing something vastly different from the direction of one channel, sometimes it can be helpful and maybe even respectful a little bit to your subscribers and your regular audience to be like, hey, I got this if you're interested, but this channel is going to continue doing what it's doing.
I mean, yeah, you have to make sure, and I've learned this recently, that you have the time and the energy to dedicate towards it, and that you have reasonable expectations. I mean, so much of it is just subjective to you and your content, your audience, your schedule, the production, like, I guess, involvement. But yeah, you have to just feel it out and be honest with yourself. That's the big thing. Be honest with yourself, where it's like, this is now killing my main channel, or this isn't working, let's just stop and try again, or take a break and figure this out. Because I have a gaming channel with Tom, and just recently we were like, let's take a break. Because I'm like, I was struggling to keep up. And I'm like, I'm gonna take a break and reassess the schedule and how much it needs to go into it, how much, I guess, just resources, and make sure this actually makes sense. And that, because you don't want to like force something, because if you're forcing your audience, they'll detect it and be like, this isn't working. This feels off from your other channel. It doesn't feel the same. I don't like it. And it's like, well, shoot, I don't want to force anything. So, yep, that's my 2 cents on that. Yes.
I guess it's more for Saber since you brought it up. So you mentioned you had a team. What does that look like? Is that volunteers, employees?
Indentured servants.
Have you seen Donkey Ollie?
I shove them in and I lock the door. Put the room on fire.
You're all hired. Shut the... Right.
That's a lot of, for YouTube for me, is just like, again, like you just kind of roll with it to see what you find. I never started my channel expecting I'd make it to this point at all. For how many views the channel gets and the content I make and the folks who I work with, it kind of just happens on its own. And then you kind of, it's like okay, it introduces elements. You're like, okay, I guess I could work with an editor friend of mine. And to be fair, though, also when I started, it was kind of, it was like the mid-2010s professionally. I say professionally, kind of. Where it's kind of becoming like a hobby that brought in some money to, okay, it's 2018. This is now my job. Let's keep going. And now it's, today, and I'm like, I have like 5 editors. I have Tom, who helps me to write and research. Lizzie, you helped me with the art thumbnails. Paley, you've helped me before in the past with just kind of consulting on videos and editing videos. And it's cool. A lot of it's like, I get to work with my friends because I confide in them. It's not like nepotism, because I'm like, well, if I have a rapport with them and they know what they're doing, then yeah, I'll work with them. But I guess also kind of you have to like measure the work itself. How much work how many videos are we making? How long are the videos? Is it high quality production, or is it something super easy and like surface level? Okay, you have to like measure it, and then you can take it from there as far as who you want to bring on. But also the culture from like 2016 with the internet has shifted, quite a bit to this moment. Where like nowadays it's like you got Fiverr, you go to Fiverr, or no, is it Fiverr, the website?
Fiverr,
yeah.
yeah.
Fiverr, you can get editors there. I think there's a lot more people who are like, we know the business, we know how, like, also a lot of these websites have grown like a lot in the past 7 years. to where now they can actually like make enough money to like, you can make money on YouTube, you can make money on TikTok, you can make money on these websites, and there are also workers who know that, who are ready to work alongside you, whether you hire them as, you know, a stranger on Fiverr or a friend that you know who just so happens to be the editing that you want to work with. Did that answer your question more or less? But what was the question? I'll make sure I didn't like no, where's the bathroom?
It was just how does it work? Or like how does, I mean, you basically just answered.
How does it work? Yeah, I mean, if you're lucky enough to have friends who are talented who can work with you, I recommend it. Just make sure also there's no like power struggles either. Tell them that you're the boss. No. Next question. Matt, you dressed up. Ready for cartoon court.
Went off that thing you said about going to Fiverr or getting some people that know what they're doing, that you're hiring on or have offered their service to you. How do you differentiate the ones that are good and know what they're doing versus the ones that are looking to make a quick buck off of you?
I guess check out their resumes, check out their...
Yeah, check out like their previous work.
Yep. Because sometimes it's like a person who's like, okay, the price is right, where it's like $50 for edits and it looks all right, but it's $50. And there's other editors who are, they'll be like, you know, well, if it's a video essay that's half an hour long, I'm gonna need, let's start off with $400, possibly more if it like, there's a stretch goal involved, or I spent this many hours making this video, so I need $100 extra. So, I mean, I guess you as the content creator also need to be mindful of like how much resources you're putting into it. Because ultimately, if it is a hobby, you're willing to invest in it, and it's coming at a cost. That's your call.
If you're like a smaller creator, do not like hire an editor. Like if you can't afford it. Like
it helps though if you can manage it.
Yeah, if you can manage it, because like Saber started off like editing like everything himself. But then he got big enough to where he could like hire editors.
Yep. So I'm not good at editing, so I'm like, I'll hire other folks to do it for me. But yeah, you kind of just gotta feel it out. But I've been told that there are some good editors on Fiverr who are like, it's like, yeah, $50 can take you far. It also saves you time to work on other projects. All right, questions? Yes.
How do YouTube Premium viewers affect a video?
It's like 5%. YouTube Premium, there aren't that many YouTube Premium users, at least compared to all the folks who use it for free.
Yeah.
I have YouTube Premium because I don't like ads.
Same.
And and also like for YouTube Premium, like even there are moments where a video can get like restricted for a content creator, but the YouTube Premium monetization still goes through. So I like that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Huh.
But it's still like 5%. It's not like a tremendous amount.
Yeah, I also just use YouTube Premium for like music.
Music, I can download stuff. It's weird because like YouTube used to have that feature just default on their app, but then they're like, shoot, how can we make people buy YouTube Premium? Let's remove free features we already have so we can sell it back to them, which is kind of, sucky, but whatever. Who would have thought a giant corporation would do that for money?
Where's the humanity?
Yeah, where's the humanity? Yes.
Yes, you just mentioned that with like YouTube Premium and everything else. I don't know if you know some other YouTube like Latent Logic. And like how YouTube bans is basically piracy. What is your opinion on that? Like people like who use ad blockers to like watch YouTube, and sometimes it also affects your videos. What is your opinion on that? Like how you said it?
Man, I don't blame them.
I don't blame
like,
mine.
yeah.
Well, YouTube it was for the longest time like one ad at the start of a video. Now it's 2. It'll be 3 eventually, probably by the end of.
I think they have it now to work because you know how you before because I've seen some people mention this, and I think it's just rolling out to like different people who use the app or the website, where they would have like, oh yeah, here's the ads, here's skip ads, but now it's like skip ad and it goes to the next ad.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No, I mean YouTube's for the longest time has been biding their time. Where they're like, YouTube came at a massive cost to Google, but Google could afford it because it's Google, and they're like, it's fine. Let's keep bankrolling YouTube. We're losing money, but the audience is growing over the years, and now it's like, YouTube.
It's like the video platform.
It is, and that's the point. They want to outlast the competition. They want to throw enough money to go, we'll beat.
Yeah,
Dailymotion.
there's been a ton of like competitors to YouTube. All of them have
nothing.
Nothing has
When
come
people
close.
are like, YouTube's treating you wrong, go to Dailymotion. I'm like, yeah, for all 7 people who go to the website, like, what's the point? YouTube has all the viewership, for the most part. And that's why they spent so much money, is to kill the competition. And now they're like, all right, 2 ads, no, 4. You know, they're gonna start raising the ad count because they're gonna start getting their money back. And also YouTube is just a math. I mean, I have 3 nieces and a nephew. They treat YouTube the way that I treated TV when I was a kid. Like Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon, for me, that's YouTube for them. And I'm like, wow, YouTube played this quite, handedly, which is why they're trying to fight back against TikTok, because they're like, that's your next competition. Though the platform's drastically different than theirs, and for whatever reason they're trying to do TikTok while TikTok's trying to be YouTube. Go figure. Usually those efforts don't end up working. Though, okay, let me just say real quickly, for YouTube Shorts, can't they just have, because when you look at the homepage for a YouTube channel where it has shorts and then, like, I guess the normal uploads, they mush it all together, one up. They need to make a little tab that says shorts. It's such a simple fix. I don't know why they won't do it. It's dumb. Whatever.
I also want to add, this is kind of on the other side of the ad stuff. Like, sometimes you'll maybe be watching a video and you're like, oh my gosh, this creator has ads everywhere.
Sometimes it's automated.
It is. I remember there was one time I think I got contacted, or not contacted, but I saw a comment come through where someone was like, man, this video has like an ad like every 3 minutes. And it was like an hour-long Bronies react from like 7 years ago.
So what happened is YouTube recently went through and like reorganized ads in their videos. So you get people like you, where they're like, you had maybe 3 ads before, and they're like, we'll put in 50.
400. I clicked on it because when you look at the ads,
mark.
it shows you the tick marks. I couldn't see the timeline. I was like, what is this, YouTube?
Which the little timeline for the little, like when you zoom in and try and put in ads is so finicky, where it's like, freezes up, and it's like, I'll drag it, it's like warp speed.
So, yeah.
Poor Google, small company.
So, I know. They'll be okay. But yeah, so if you ever see that kind of stuff too, sometimes it's just a matter of you might be looking at an older video that the creator themselves. I didn't know this was happening. So I got this comment. I'm like, what is this? Why are there ads everywhere? It was unwatchable. So.
That's why I do YouTube Premium, because I'm like, eventually it will. I can afford it, first off, and then also I know that like as far as ads go, it's going to get worse. Though, and also for what it's worth, YouTube like has made mistakes where like they remove dislikes. I hate that. Fun fact or a pro tip: there's a Google Chrome extension and one for Firefox where you can reinstall the dislike bar on YouTube. I recommend it.
Yeah.
And I think there's also
because it still shows up because people still use it.
Well, I think there's also one that Tom mentioned for mobile, where you can do that as well for mobile devices. But like them getting rid of dislikes, it's like, don't lie to me. They're like, we're doing it for the smaller creators. I'm like, dude,
no,
shut
you're
up.
doing it for the corporations.
You're doing it for the corporate like movie trailers and whatnot to make it look as bad. Where it's like, because I mean, it should be that way. We can see a dislike bar where it's like,
because like it's terrible for tutorials.
Tutorials, or it's like, how do I do CPR? Well, this tutorial, for all I know, could be a 20-80%, and it's like, well, I guess I punch their face until they wake up. Next question. I'm gonna try to get some new folks here, and we'll come back to y'all. Yes.
What's the worst case of creative block you've run into, and how have you overcome it?
Worst case of creative block for me was this time last year, actually, and this is gonna sound like
this year.
Well, my dad almost died of COVID last year when I was at Everfree, and that like I came back home and I spent like the next 3 weeks just kind of like not making videos, which is tough because like I went to like an art panel yesterday. Where was the artist drawing little like recommendations? And someone asked a similar question, like, do you ever stop making art? I'm like, yeah, no, we'll take some days off, take some weeks off. And it varies from person to person. I don't have that luxury. If I stop for too long, YouTube's like, where's our money? Get out of here. You're getting blacklisted now. But I took 3 weeks off, not by choice, just because I couldn't think. And then I finally came back and I picked back up again, kept moving. But it was like 3 weeks. And I was like, damn, the fucking eternity of just nothing. Because YouTube's on its analytic page, they will let you know where they're like, see this giant red arrow? We're not doing so hot this week, are we? And I'm like, who's we? Shut the hell up.
They're like, it's like a manager. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, Jack showed me a very good video by Super Eye Patch Wolf about like creator burnout and everything, about how YouTube kind of like makes you feel bad for doing bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you used to not have like the red arrows, and then they were like, let's make it.
Yeah, and it used to not have that list of like, oh yeah, here's your top 10 recent videos.
Which is pretty clever
Yeah.
of them to do that.
Yeah.
Because when you're doing well, it feels good. Whereas even
Yeah.
they have little fireworks.
Yeah, it was like, pew, pew.
I'm like, what is that? Windows 95? But yeah, it's burnout's real. Yeah, I still feel it. I wish I could I wish I could take a month off right now. I wish I could. I can't. Because
Yeah, unless you have like a backlog of things where it's like, oh yeah, I'll schedule this out. Like and work really hard to put these scheduled videos out. And
which
then,
defeats
like,
the purpose,
yeah.
though. I mean, it defeats the purpose, but it's like,
Yeah.
wow, I want to take a break. How do I do it? Work twice as hard.
Yeah.
And it's like, great.
Yeah. I've also experienced, it's almost, I guess, the pre-burnout, which is like before I get to a project, and I'll keep putting it off, where I'm like, oh my gosh, like it's daunting. I mean, I guess an example of a daunting project would be a Bronies React, where it's like, okay, I got hours of footage to go through. I need to start chopping. Until I start going through people's footage, like the first step of the process, it's like, oh man, this is, here comes a couple weeks worth of devotion into this, this video. But I always find once I start doing it, I feel better because I'm like, okay, that pile's getting smaller. We're getting closer to the finish line. But also just kind of in general, like once I get those wheels turning on a project, then it's like, okay, we're going. Now my brain's like, yes, let's do this. And I find it that, yeah, especially like with bigger projects, it's usually that first step where it's like, oh man, and it's not really, it's almost not burnout. Like it's like I said, it's almost like just trying to get the engine started. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's been what I find. I've learned over the years is that if I could just get started on a project, it actually creates some self-motivation to get it done.
It's I think it's called like what, executive dysfunction, where it's like you can't start something. It's like, do it.
So, yeah.
All right, questions? I'll begin to you in a second. All right, any new people want to ask questions, or we can start going back to, all right, we go to you.
It's funny, I just want to point out the red card has never actually asked a question during this panel, and now you get to.
Go ahead.
So this goes for you, Ray. Not necessarily like the YouTube, but I guess, like it's more of an equipment question. I've always struggled with not having a very steady hand. Your footage always seems to be very steady. Is that your hand, or is that like the camera that has a steady lens?
Okay, so it's a combo. I started out with cameras that didn't have stabilizers. So I had to, because I started out with, before I ever did convention vlogs, I used to walk around like family vacations and whatnot, like recording stuff. And I'd be like, I can't wait to look at the footage. And then you look at it and it's just, boing, boing, like you're like, I don't know what's going on in this video. So over the years, and then same with like with the convention vlogs, you go and watch and you're like, okay, this stuff looks good, but it doesn't work so well when I'm doing this. And so over the years, like, and it's been kind of a joke amongst our group is, especially like when we have like a friend who finally makes it out to a convention, they're like, oh, so you are just basically like this the whole time. This is my convention stance, right? It's weird because the camera's not in my hand right now and it feels really cold and naked, but, so I've had years of figuring out, I guess just kind of in general, walking around with a camera. Same with at the racetrack, where we've done like interviews with people, and sometimes that does involve us moving around. So I've had a lot of that experience. But the main camera that I use for vlogging, which is the one in the back there, at least with these camcorders, which by the way, I really don't know how much longer we're going to be seeing regular camcorders, because they're becoming less and less available, and it's kind of a weird trend to see, because I'm just so used to being like, yeah, camcorders, but like for the racing stuff that we do, getting cameras like these, it's becoming harder to acquire. Less companies are making them.
What are they switching over to?
It feels like they're phasing out, and I don't know if it's because of like smartphones and everyone's like, oh, I'll just record stuff on that. Like, I have people for Bronies React that they're like, I'm recording on my phone.
I'm recording my sponsor spots on my phone. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just fine. It's easier.
Right, and it's good quality.
Yep,
The,
better
the
quality,
audio
yeah,
sounds
old
good.
camera, yeah.
So, but with that, I do know that Sony, and I'm sure some of the others do, but some of the higher end cameras, they do have stabilizers built in, and it can be an incredible game changer. Like even for me, for doing this for years, I'm like, oh heck yeah, like because it's hit and miss for what you want to use it for. If you're walking around a convention, stabilizer is great. If you're filming, let's say, you know, I'm at the racetrack filming cars going around, not so great because the stabilizer tries to like fix what you're focusing on. So if you're like, oh my gosh, something's going by, it's like, well, wait, you want to be over here. No, you want to be over here. And it starts like auto correcting and you're like, where's the camera going? So that could be frustrating. So in that case, you turn it off. But yes, these cameras, like I said, these camcorders, and they can be they are on the pricier end of a camcorder, but stabilizers, they are a game changer. Even GoPros are starting to have those as well, built into them. So,
After can you talk to me as to what kind of model camera that you use? Like, can invest in?
this is the best time to figure out a model camera for me because I actually have the camera with me. I have people ask me online, like, what model camera is it? And I'm like, okay, so that camera's hooked up to the gaming channel, this, that. So yeah, after the panel, I could get you a model number.
Pardon me. All right, I think we got like 5 minutes left. Any more questions? I thought I saw a hand. Yes.
I don't know if this is already answered because I came in a little late, but
Be funny.
it kind of, I guess it sort of leads into that. When you make content that is not the same as what you usually make, like if you branch out on your current channel and it doesn't do very well, do you like take that as a learning opportunity that maybe that doesn't work, or you're confident that, oh, they just don't like it because it's different, or do you feel like self-worth issues over it because it's not performing super well?
All of it. I mean, initially, whenever I do something new and it doesn't do well, I'm like, I screwed up. They don't like it. I'm the worst. I should stop now. Just jump off a roof. I remember when I did like a video review for Lilo and Stitch, because folks were like, you should do good reviews. Review something good. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm going to review Lilo and Stitch. I love that movie. And I put a lot of time into it. And it got like, typically I get like 500,000 views within a week for a video. And it got like 200,000 views within like 2 weeks. And I'm like, you all are getting furry garbage, reviews for the rest of your lives. Like, I know what you all really want. Don't tell me I'm the one who don't want to. Because people will say that. They're like, Saber, you should try something new, something different. Why is it always this? Or I'll go on Twitter replies and folks are like, all he does is talk about furry stuff. I'm like, I know where the views are. I know what you all are watching. Don't lie to me. You're the one with the metrics, Because, I still like reviewing good stuff. But I realized, it's not just furry trash or bad things. It's obscure. It's obscure content. Lilo and Stitch isn't really that. If I did a review for Ratatouille, or if I did a review for something that's a bit more like a Megamind or whatever, folks are like, yeah, it's not really your channel stuff. You do weird, unheard of, or just obscure or just weird stuff. So me being like, why Lilo and Stitch is a masterpiece? Folks are like, that's not your channel, But tell me why this French animated, series where a kid character gets murdered. I'll watch that instead. And it's like, okay, I know what y'all want, you weirdos.
I think it's more the reactionary thing where the way you react to these types of things, especially if you're doing like a let's watch or like a live reaction to something super weird. I feel like that's also what brings people.
People like dunking on stuff too. Always.
Yeah.
Always. And like for Finding Jesus, when I reviewed that Finding Nemo Christian version, I'm like, it was terrible, but it also deserved to get hated on, and that felt good. It's like, yeah, let's trash it. But then, to answer your question of trying something new, it's like, because you don't want to put yourself in a corner either. You don't want to become a one-trick pony. Ponies. But I guess have the latitude to move around, try new things, and see what works. But also, don't take it to heart, because audiences can be very finicky. Don't forget that you also are an interviewer, that you are a viewer of content yourself, and let's say there's a channel you like, and all of a sudden they just completely change their tone to something different, where it's like, oh, this channel reviews Marvel movies, and now they're reviewing a David Lynch film. And it's like, I don't know if that's what I subscribed for. Unless, and this is the goal for any content creator, your viewers are there for you, the creator. That's it. Like Markiplier could do that. Yeah, that's the dream. Because for most folks, it's content, not the creator. But if you can manage to get to the creator, then you won. So, and I haven't even gotten to that point yet. I might never get to that point. That's how like much of a goal it is for a lot of these folks. Though it's also not always about like subscriber, count either. Because there's some channels that have 50,000 subscribers, and they've got dedicated viewers that love them. And you also got a Patreon to keep things afloat too. So it takes many forms. I'll say that when it comes to internet stuff. Are we done? We got like 1 minute left.
1 minute.
Last question in the corner. Yes.
I got a question for you, Saberspark. First, thank you so much for your content.
Oh.
Yeah. But secondly, I actually have a question in regards to future projects. Will you ever focus on Latin American animation?
There's a few that people have suggested my way. I want to cover more international like animation in general because there's just so much out there. I recently did a video about like Bulgarian Treasure Planet, and I looked more into what Bulgaria has fielded for animation, and then there was a surprising amount where I'm like, wow. And I kind of felt like an ignorant American where I'm like, I didn't know about this. But yeah, I definitely want to look more into it. Latin America, and see what they have to offer. There was like some movie from, gosh, where was it from? There was like
What was the movie about?
it was about a little girl in like a mansion with a monster. And it was like one of Mexico's first animated films, and they threw a lot of money into it, and apparently it's really good. And I want to review that. I think I'll watch it first. But do you remember what the name of the movie was? Is it like Bruno or something like that? They have a series?
Oh.
It's not just one, but it generated into like a small TV show.
Really?
And it was available in your standard channels that you get satellite on. So these were like just the beginning starters of animation. One of the reasons why I'm here in the United States, I think.
Cool.
Yeah, but it has been evolving even recently. They have even created new movies, and for example, like in Netflix, Maya and Everfree.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's great.
He actually is an avid creator back in Mexico that created a lot of series that hit part in it.
Yeah. Gutierrez. Yeah. That's, no, absolutely. I gotta look more into it. I would love to. And, if I use my platform to kind of get other studios and other shows that, I mean, the truth is, demographic-wise, it's overwhelmingly Americans who watch my stuff. But I think it's cool I get the chance to show off obscure things from other countries. And I say obscure to Americans because Americans have like the blinders on for what we watch. So to actually like get outside of that comfort zone and see, what Latin America has to offer, or Eastern Europe, or France, or whatever, it's like, it's cool. It's neat. So yes, to answer your question, I would love to look more into that kind of content. I think that might be.
I think we're done now. Yeah.
That is it.
All right, folks, thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful convention. Take care. And yeah, we have Carts in Court here in about, 2 hours?
1 hour?
1 hour.
Wow.